Before Christmas, we learned that at any given time, only about 3% of Canadian adults are watching CBC TV English. Yet the budget for the CBC is $1.3 billion a year. No one's watching. But whenever you say that, someone from the CBC says, oh yes, but people are listening to us, and they're now engaging with us on our multimedia platforms, on our apps, our news app, our GEM app, which shows past shows from the CBC, archives of past shows. That's not true either. Last week we found out the CRTC, the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, that licenses all of the radio and television stations in the country, had done an extensive survey of how many people watch the CBC on a regular basis. The CRTC spent $125,000 to find out that only about a quarter of Canadians think CBC radio is vital. 2/3 of Canadians listen to commercial radio on a regular basis. 2/3. 45% of them say it's the best way for them to get local news and the music that they like. Only 28% say the CBC is vital. The CBC radio service, which we are told is the bedrock of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, now that TV is fading, it isn't vital either. And yet, the Trudeau government, since it's come to power in 2015, has increased the CBC's budget by more than 15%. You watch during an election, there will be signs that come out. People put them on their lawn and say, "We vote CBC." Well, how nice for you. What you're saying is, we vote to take money from all the rest of our citizens, everybody else in Canada, and put that money towards what we like to listen to, what we like to be told about politics, the news that we like to hear about. And increasingly, that group that votes for CBC is smaller and smaller and smaller. It's very vocal, though. And the reason that the Harper government gets chastised for having cut the CBC's budget, it didn't really. It held it steady as inflation slowly made it shrink a tiny little bit. It was still $1 billion a year when the Harper government left office. But that money now goes to an increasingly smaller and smaller and smaller group of people with their elite little interests and their particular little worldview, and the rest of us have to pay directly for the newspapers we like to read or the radio services that we like to listen to. I love satellite radio. There's lots of channels on there that I enjoy, but I have to pay for that every year. CBC listeners, though, no. Mostly upper middle class, mostly progressives. No. They don't have to pay. They tag you and me through our taxes to pay for their increasingly narrow view of entertainment and politics. That's got to stop. For Post Media, I'm Lorne Gunter.